scientists warn Earth warming faster than expected due to reduction in ship pollution. Well, Sheila, a very little brain like me can't connect the dots here. Can you help me out what they're trying to say in this CBC article?
And you know what? It's James Hansen. So take this for what it is. This guy is, I think he's the guy behind the hockey stick graph that was so debunked.
Oh my God. And he's showing his face in public after that?
I think it is. Anyways, the past 5 months, again, when you truly think about this, you have to think about how outrageous the claims are. You cannot come to any other conclusion. The past 5 months have shattered global temperature records, taking scientists by surprise. Really? You told me the Earth is going to end every day. So why are you taken by surprise? Many are asking why. A new study published in Oxford Open Climate Change by renowned U.S. climate scientist James Hansen suggests one of the drivers has been an unintentional global geoengineering experiment, the reduction in ship tracks. So as commercial ships move across the ocean, they emit exhaust that includes sulfur. This can contribute to the formation of marine clouds through aerosols known as ship tracks, which radiate heat back out into space. However, this is great. However, in 2020, as part of an effort to curb the harmful aerosol pollution released by these ships, the International Maritime Organization imposed strict regulations on shipping, reducing sulfur content in fuel from 3.5% to 0.5%. The reduction in marine clouds has allowed more heat to be absorbed into the oceans, accelerating an energy imbalance where more heat is being trapped than released. So I'll cut through the jargon here because there are fewer particulates being emitted by cargo ships burning bunker fuel, which is actually, if you care about this sort of thing, a huge emitter. But because they've reduced the real dangerous particulate emissions, as in sulfur, less carbon and less pollution is actually now driving climate change, according to these people. So really, everything causes climate change, more pollution, less pollution. It's all going to spell the end of the world. And the only thing that you can do to stop it, pay that carbon tax, buddies. Pay it. You just have to pay your tithes to the climate gods. That's the only thing that will stop climate change, because whether or not you have higher emissions or lower emissions, it doesn't matter. The climate gods are going to kill you unless they get their sacrifice.
You know, this is unbelievable, Sheila. The way the blackface liberals sell the carbon tax, it's a tax on pollution. I remember 6 years ago when Climate Barbie was in Toronto and she was at the music hall on Danforth. It was just when the SNC scandal was breaking, so they had to do distractions. And I remember her coming on stage, and I swear, folks, this is what she said: hands up, everyone who's against pollution. Well, you know, that would be 100% of all reasonable people on planet Earth. So we're paying the carbon tax as a tax on pollution. We see by this article that the bunker fuel pollution has gone down, but the climate emergency is worsening. So, Sheila, I can't make sense of any of this. What are we supposed to do tangibly other than what you said, pay more carbon taxes, as if that helps with the climate?
As if any of this is measurable anyway, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, there's no such thing as a global temperature. You can't even take the temperature accurately in your backyard. If you put, and Friends of Science did an incredible experiment just to show you how crazy it is when they tell you you have to keep the global emissions below 1.5 degrees of increase or whatever. You can't measure the temperature in your backyard. If you put 5 thermometers in your backyard, just in different locations, you would get wild variations across the board. Now, they want to tell me that they can judge the temperature of the surface of the Earth across multiple microclimates, across different topography, different levels of humidity, in deserts, across different elevations, that they can somehow measure it all, come up with an average temperature, and then tell you how much carbon you're allowed to burn to stay underneath it. It's bonkers. It's absolutely insane. But it doesn't matter anyway, because even if you reduce pollution, apparently it causes climate change.
You know what, Sheila, as I mentioned, Y2K was the scam of the century, meaning last century. This climate change hysteria is the scam of this current century. And there's no shortage of hucksters making out like bandits as they proclaim the sky is about to fall. And by the way, I did mention the blackface liberals and speak of the devil.
Speaking of hucksters.
Yeah, there's the biggest crew. And speak of the devil and he shall appear. I believe we have a video clip of blackface in Parliament yesterday. He's talking about what makes Canadians afraid. You know what I think makes the majority of Canadians afraid these days, Sheila? I would say making the mortgage payment every month, putting food on the table.
Inflation.
Yeah, having enough money to put gas in the tank, you know, to bring the kids to school, to commute to work. I think that's what's making most Canadians afraid. Oh, no, that's okay, Jack. What's making Canadians afraid right now is climate change? Here, check out Blackface himself.
I have to admit I'm a little worried for the leader of the opposition. When he has to stoop to bringing up the separatist boogeyman to try and scare Canadians, he must be running out of material. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, Canadians are afraid of climate change. They're afraid of the extreme weather events. They're afraid of the concerns we have about a brighter future. And what we are doing is fighting climate change every day while we build a stronger economy with greater careers, while we support Canadians every single day with the high cost of living. This is what we're delivering. He has no plan to fight climate change, no plan for the future of the economy, no plan for Canadians.
Sheila, this blackface is saying no plan for the economy. This is the same prime minister who said the budget would balance itself. I still don't know what that means. And everyone I've ever asked that question to, including diehard liberals, can't explain it either. But Sheila, the idea of, you know, Canadians going to bed at night and saying, oh, you know what? Today it was 1.8 degrees above seasonal. I'm so worried. Oh, God, please do something about climate change. Is that happening in any corner of our globe, especially amongst those Canadians who aren't living in the basement and are gender studies students and have no responsibilities, but, you know, the Canadians that are working hard to make ends meet, which is getting increasingly hard right now?
Yeah, the only people who care about this stuff are professional students who are currently lobbying their Starbucks franchisee where they work to put the latte machine on solar. Like, I don't know who actually cares about this stuff. With inflation out of control, and it's down the entire supply chain, people are worried about how they're paying their bills. They're worried about if they're able to qualify for a mortgage, paying the mortgage. Young people who have real jobs, or at least looking for a real job with tangible skills, they're worried about never, ever, ever being able to afford a house and a car and a child simultaneously, which is something that our parents, or even my generation, I hate saying that, we can't afford. And that it's still within the reach of young people in Alberta, but in liberal strongholds, it is no longer within the reach of young people. And that should actually scare the liberals. That should be the thing keeping Justin Trudeau up at night, and not climate change. Nobody cares about climate change. You're told by the TV that you should care about climate change, but really, is it anything that you think about at all, especially as we approach winter? Give me a break.
Yeah, and you know, Sheila, the only thing Blackface missed in terms of liberal talking points, I'm surprised he didn't work in the LGBTQ2S plus community.
Islamophobia.
Yeah, and Islamophobia for that matter. And all I can think of, if the temperature rises continually at the gay pride parades, those members who take off all their clothes and simulate sex acts in public in front of children, they might get to be too much of a sweaty Betty. Or if the climate plunges, I guess we're talking about major shrinkage going on. So either way, climate change for that community, I'm sure, is front and center. Like I said, can't believe he missed mentioning that demographic. Hey folks, that was a clip from the daily live stream. I co-host it Monday to Thursday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Alberta team takes over on Friday. Please tune in. And by the way, we want to hear your 2 cents worth. If you're able to make a minimal $5 donation, we will read your chat on the air live. Thank you. David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. And I got to tell you, folks, next March 23rd to 30th to be precise, we are going on a Caribbean cruise. Can you imagine that? And a lot of your favorite Rebels will be there, such as Sheila Gunn Reid. We got Alexa Lavoie, the big boss man himself. Of course, he'll be there. Ezra Levant. And how about this? How about this for the cherry on the sundae? Tamara Leach, Canada's #1 freedom fighter. She'll be on that boat too. And look at the itinerary. We're going to be going to Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas, and then we're going to jazz it up in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and then there's Georgetown in the Cayman Islands, and finally Cozumel, Mexico. Can you imagine that? If you want more details in terms of getting aboard the ship, go to rebelnewscruise.com. That's rebelnewscruise.com. All the details are there, the departure dates, the costs, and you know what? This is not just a fun-filled getaway. This is a way in which Rebel News raises some revenue. Unlike the mainstream media, we don't receive a nickel of government funding, nor would we take it if ever offered. So it's win-win. Enjoy yourself in the Caribbean and Mexico, and also support your favorite online news channel. So that's rebelnewscruise.com. I hope to see you aboard.